entitled Rough Justice. The homeless epidemic is rife with injustice. We have betrayed our own citizens in favour, those from overseas who come here illegally and because of private landlords and the court system. With your legislation, you are supporting the court system. You are supported the financial institution, disregard the welfare of tenants. Within the private sector, tenants are not protected under landlords that do not have that tenant's best interests at heart. You send the BLS by rotten court order in order to evict them without given notice. You turf them out and make them homeless. Where is the legislation protecting the vulnerable and those reliant on their accommodation? You're heartlessly evict squatters and then judge them because of their drug habit. But this government has not helped them in the motherfucking first place. And yet so many buildings lie empty. You could refurbish them and house the homeless effortlessly. You do not have the protections in place in order to protect our citizens. You rent them homeless without care and you move them on from place to place. If a private landlord is not placed under a governmental scheme in order to regulate them, then they are free to affect their talents. They can run amok and declare bankruptcy, and with an instant the tenants that they are housing are turf out, whether or not they have paid their rent. And then the private landlord gets off scot-free because he had declared bankruptcy, and within the eyes of the law, the people will be evicted, have no rates or no protections, and are left out on the street with no shelter and no food to eat. And it is down to charity to support them, because the government turns a blind eye and refuses to see. This is injustice of the highest order. This is a betrayal of our own people. And yet, when people come to this country illegally on boats, they flock in 1,000, and most of them are male with no families. They have no claim to be running from a tyrannical government, an arrest to their lives. They are only here for the freebies and to take our housing and benefit from the welfare system. What are evicted tenants to do when the bailiffs come round? These demands that they pack their bags and then they change the lock. If the landlord does not subscribe to certain standards, they can treat the tenants like a cash cow, and then they can heartlessly evict them without conscience of what they are doing, without the protections of the policies of housing associations and councils. These landlords go rogue and there is no legislation to stop them. Where is your heart when it comes to those reliance on our system to protect them? Big organizations and private landlords can behave any way that they like because they are not being regulated and they are out of sight. Someone that has left for 5 years in a property, whether or not they are from this country, they have paid their taxes, they have paid their rent, and get the bailiffs come round and give them a notice to read the very same day with nowhere to go and no space to breathe. What are they meant to do? For they will be homeless sleeping in the streets. And yet this landlord can declare bankruptcy and the courts will repossess the property. I understand that the bailiffs are doing the job, but you have to be a certain kind of person. You have no heart and have no sympathy. Surely something must be done. Legislation must be passed in order to protect the vulnerable and protect those that are being turfed out from their homes. But the heads of government are not representing the people, they represent themselves and whatever money is in their pocket. They have no concern for the people that they declared to serve within this police state. The state of control, this hypocritical society, they are only serving themselves. Also, the benefit system needs some rethinking, because if someone is sanctioned or someone is waiting for the universal credit to come through, their rent has not going to be paid. And yet they have the gall to evict families and children. How can they dare to proclaim that they are doing their jobs? These politicians, these lords, these assholes within the government, the ends